Hello, and thank you for joining today's presentation about the Humane Education Program at the Georgian Triangle Humane Society. Our world looks very different than it did a few weeks ago. Because of the pandemic and our collective efforts to engage in physical and social distancing, we're working on a new online platform to deliver our lessons, courses, and workshops to you, our valued viewers. My name is Karen Marsh, and I'm the Humane Education Coordinator at the Georgian Triangle Humane Society. Here you can see me with my pets because students always ask me about my pets. Bear and Scout on the left, who are biological siblings 2 years apart, and their not so biological sister, Boo Kitty. My role at the Animal Center is to provide programming to our community youth that promotes empathy and compassion for all living things, especially our pets. Today we are experiencing difficult times, and our pets are feeling this upheaval as well. Whether it's your dog, cat, rabbit, hamster, hedgehog, turtle, snakes, birds, fish, whatever pet you have at home, they don't really understand why all of a sudden the humans in their lives are at home 24/7. But I think we're coping. We are coping because we're a strong community, because we are Canadians, and because we believe in compassion and pets, and because we believe in compassion for pets and people. While I'm working remotely, I've had some time to do new research to bring to you and many new presentations in the weeks and months to come. We're all trying to learn how to handle working at home, and I think that I can alleviate some of your stress. A recent study coming out of Harvard University concludes, and many of you who have dogs in your life won't be in the least bit surprised by this finding, that dogs are people too. And even more interesting, people who talk to their dogs are not crazy. In fact, those of us who engage in canine conversations are more intelligent than the average human. The scientists at Harvard coined the phrase, dogs are people too, because they discovered that dogs have the ability to experience positive emotions like love and attachment and have a level of sentience comparable to that of a human child. This ability suggests that we need to rethink how we treat dogs in our society and other societies across the world and how we communicate with them. I'll be exploring these ideas and so many more in the weeks and months to come for you. I don't want to forget our cat people who are listening today. A recent study out of GoodNet cites there are scientifically proven reasons to own a cat in order to benefit your health, some of which include a lower risk of heart disease, a reduction in our stress and anxiety. When they sit on our laps or our shoulders and they purr, they're actually helping healing our bones. And they actually mean fewer allergies for your children if you have them in the home from birth. What we do know is that humane education in our community is necessary and is becoming more and more important for youth. They love learning about animals. They love talking about their own animals, and they love learning what it means to be a compassionate and empathetic person. The kids who come to our programs at the schools can't get enough of it and then ultimately end up engaging in our after-school and summer programming, which we can't be more proud of. They have an innate need to learn more about the human-animal bond. They want to know what it is about animals that makes us love them so much, and then we take that natural love and we transition it to a love for humans, how we take the very feelings that are evoked by holding a puppy or a kitten or just being in a room with an animal, and how we can use those skills and those natural abilities to help us understand humans more effectively. When they are engaged in our programs, they want to share their stories and the information they've learned. They engage in public speaking. They hold school-wide donation drives. They have assemblies to share the information they've learned because they value it so much. Our parents and teachers love the program as well. They love how the kids respond to the in-class workshops, how they respond during class time, and even more importantly, how they are after we leave, how those skills that they've learned in the classroom while we're talking about animals seem to seamlessly move into their day-to-day activities in the classroom. Our Humane Education program is working, and we have the data to prove it. Since 2017, we've seen an incredible increase of 18% in the social and emotional skills of our participants. So we're just going to move ahead with this. We know that humane education is necessary for a better future. I've said a lot about that, but I think this video says it all. I've watched that video so many times I can't even tell you, and each time it makes me well up. So I want you to look for the following presentations over the coming weeks and months. I'm transferring our junior and senior animal welfare certification program online, our pet sitters course, and a number of standalone presentations that will provide activities for your kids aged 10 to 17. The Junior Senior Animal Welfare Certification Program is a series of 6 classes where the Humane Education Coordinator or Humane Education teacher goes into the classrooms, generally grades 7 and up, but often grades 5 and 6 as well. And we cover a number of topics focusing on empathy and compassion and our social skills. And the program culminates in a visit to the animal shelter where kids get to meet the shelter animals and receive their certificates. We cover topics like the history of pets. Why do we embrace them? Who were the first pets? How did we domesticate the first animals? Our emotional intelligence. We can't begin to even consider positive communication with our pets until we understand our own emotions, how we communicate with ourselves and other people first. How do we identify our emotions? What are we really feeling? Are we feeling just generally bad or sad? Or can we pinpoint our emotions a lot more effectively and how that benefits us in communication? How does our brain process emotional intelligence? How does our brain accept communications from others about what they're feeling and how we communicate our feelings with others? And is it always positive? Well, we'll look at different scenarios and ask you what you would do in them, and is it the most effective way to deal with a situation? From that, we will naturally move to decoding animal behavior, looking at different scenarios, at different body languages that animals, especially cats and dogs, use to communicate what they are thinking and feeling, how to avoid a bite or a scratch, how to have a much more healthy relationship with your pet by looking for the signs and the cues that we often miss. The cruelty connection is a hard-hitting and difficult presentation. However, it won't leave you feeling deflated. It's necessary because it looks at the relationships or the link between animal cruelty, domestic violence, bullying, and dating violence. If we take a deeper dive into animal cruelty, what it is, what's the difference between neglect and abuse, we can begin to examine it, we can change it, and then we can improve our levels of violence in human society that we see. Looking at the link between animal cruelty and human violence will help us make more humane and just choices and help us when we are confronted with difficult situations and make them better. The certification program culminates in a field trip, as I said. Right before we do that, we engage in a variety of activities and scenarios and how we can make a difference in our community and how we can support the programs and services at the GTHS, which is Compassion for Pets and People. I'm also going to provide a number of standalone presentations that will help you improve your life with your pet, and that ultimately will improve their lives with yours. So you can tune in for our presentation, for example, on responsible pet ownership. What does it mean to be a responsible pet owner? Do we even know? Have you even thought about it? Do you know what the 5 freedoms 2 and 4 are? Some of our bylaws. This presentation will help you make your life easier with your pet. If you're really into cats and you want to know more about cats and how they have become such an important part of our lives while being much more distant than dogs are, for example, tune into this presentation. It's a lot of great information that the Ontario SPCA lets me borrow from. Have you ever thought about getting a pet and you don't know which one? That maybe you're not drawn to dogs and cats. Maybe you're a snake person. Maybe you think you'd really like to have fish. This presentation will help you make that decision. Looks at different kinds of pets, how long they live, how much it costs to house them and feed them. You'll like this one. Do you know what community cats are? Have you heard of feral cat colonies or TNR programs? Then you definitely want to tune into this program because it will tell you everything you've ever wanted to know about community cats and might even be an impetus for you to help out. Some of us have heard of puppy and kitten mills in Canada. We don't often know what the difference is between those and certified breeders, for example. This presentation looks at the multi-million-dollar business of animal business in Canada and why it is that we should consider adopting rather than shopping for our pets. Are you interested in Ontario's wildlife? Just some basic information about what's happening in your backyard if you live in a residential or a rural area, and knowing what certain animals do during certain times of the year and how to troubleshoot. We're really excited about our first complete online course, the Pet Sitters course, that is offered to kids aged 10 to 17 in our community. We will look at the role of the pet sitter, provide you with some basic animal first aid, talk about what a home visit is and what that would be comprised of, because kids who are aged 10 to 17 are not going to be staying overnight to look after pets. So they need to know what a home visit is, and again, how to be a responsible pet owner or sitter by looking at basic dog and cat care, the care of exotic animals. Maybe that's not for you, and that's okay to decide that you're not comfortable looking after an exotic pet. How to create contracts, what to charge on an hourly basis, how you can find a pet sitting job using social media and through advertising, how to define a pet emergency, when to call the vet, and when to just talk to your parents or maybe the pet owner, and what we can learn from professional pet sitters in our community. At the end of completing this online course, you will receive a certificate and you will be ready to be a pet sitter in our community. We're really excited about all of these changes that we are implementing to adapt to these changing times. I hope you feel free to contact me today after seeing this presentation, because I really do value your feedback and your comments, and I'm interested in any requests you may have for new content or new topics. If you watch one of our presentations when they become available, do you have a question about something you've learned? Do you want more information about an issue? Please email me at this email address here, karen@gths.ca. I will get back to you really quickly because I really want to hear from you. Thank you so much for your support. Really can't say enough about this, of the Humane Education program, of course, but of the Georgian Triangle Humane Society as a whole. We can't do the wonderful work that we do without you, because we know that you share our love of animals and you believe in compassion for pets and people. Thank you very much for listening today. Please take care of you and yours. Stay well, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing and talking with you again.